Wilson Morales from Black Film TV. This is the second film. What did you want to do more? More actions, more blood, or more of you and less stuntmen?
More. First, the challenge of doing Nobody 2 was I want to reconnect the audience with the same feelings from the first film. The feelings of a family, and the indignities and stresses of regular life. Like, that's just number one, is that in the first 10 minutes you go, oh, that's like my family, or that's like a family I would know. And then secondly, we did want to make it bigger, which is bigger fights, visually bigger. And I give a lot of credit to Timo Tjahjanto, our director, for doing that. Thirdly, I wanted to bring some comedy into the fights, which is a tricky thing because there's some funny moments in Nobody Won, but I didn't have sort of a comic fight, whereas in this film I have more comedy in the fighting.
Having said that, when people look for comedy, do you see yourself having funny bones, creating these scenes?
Oh, yeah. I've done a lot of comedy. I've got 2 Emmys for comedy writing for Saturday Night Live and Ben Stiller's show, as well as having been nominated numerous times for Mr. Show. But action is a new world for me. So it's been fun to learn about the language of action and work with the stunt guys, Greg Rementer and Daniel Bernhardt, who trained me, and to help invent some of the comedy that's in the fighting. I love Jackie Chan, and I love his film Police Story, which has some pure Buster Keaton comedy in it. And I wanted to steal some of that. I think we got some of it. We smuggled some of it into Nobody 2.
You've got something good going on here. Have you seen, do we know all of Hutch by the end of this movie? Is there more to give out?
Oh, yeah, there's more. There's more. There's going to be a Nobody 3 and a Nobody 4, I bet. Mm-hmm. Look, it's a journey of a family and a journey of a guy through life, and I think there's more story to be told. Hutch is, he enjoys fighting, and he knows that it brings a bit of a curse on his family. And he's worried that his son will be violent. Well, it's very hard to keep those kinds of things from passing down generation to generation. So we'll see what happens, because I think that's the story. What happens to the family as a whole, and can Hutch keep them safe?
You've had a great year. You've got this movie coming out. You've got a Tony nomination. Congrats on that. What goes into saying yes to the projects you take?
To me, the core issue is playing a character with some of a self-awareness and a bit of a turn inside whatever their motivation is at the beginning. At the end, it's changed a little bit. That's what I look for.
Congrats on this. Looking forward to Nobody 3.
Thank you so much, buddy.
Wilson Morales from Black Film TV. We've got the second film. How excited are you for this to come back and you get to do more?
It was exciting when I got the script. I was very excited to return to telling the story, and it was even more excited when I read the script and I just really saw that they had built out this universe in a completely different way and still retain completely that original core experience that is Nobody.
When you look at your career, you're like, almost everything new is old again, or everything old is new again. When you think about Gladiator, now this one, you're reprising characters. What goes into saying yes to the projects you take?
Something that moves me. And in Nobody Won, there was like this depiction of a marriage where clearly both really loved each other, but they were at this impasse and they didn't know how to ford that river. They didn't know how to break through to each other. And there is this really humane forgiveness and connection between them that just was mesmerizing to me from just even reading it. And it was it's rare that you see these really humane, beautiful human interactions in an action movie. The fact that they could thread like a really cool action experience into a really true sounding human family experience that is unique.
When you're working with Bob, and obviously this is the second time, what did you guys discuss in terms of playing that married couple where she's now all into who he is and what he does?
We already discussed in the first, during the making of the first one, that there clearly was a backstory to them, and that they were living this way because they'd made a pact once they had kids. When they decided to have a family, they sort of made a pact. We're packing up the past, and we're living unremarkably in unremarkable circumstances to safeguard our family. Well, once Bob's character grows tired of living with those compromises that are imposed on him, then what's going to happen to the family? And I think what is so great is that we always had that backstory in our heads, and it made it possible for us to bring that backstory into the second one and make us realize the reason why that expansion of Hutch's life into what he used to do in the back, in before, is because of this backstory. There's more to Becca than you know, and there is more to that story about how they met than you know, and that's why that's possible.
You just mentioned that. So now we've got the backstory. We now know about Becca. Moving forward, if there's a third one, what do you want Becca to do more? Training lessons, shooting lessons, or she's like, oh.
She clearly doesn't need lessons. She's got that stuff down. I would just love to explore even more that what was it they did, and is that coming back to them again?
Congrats on the series, because this is a franchise, so keep it going.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.